Guys, Adrian here from the Digital Dojos at digitaldojos.com, and today we're going to be covering how to run a virtual operating system within the Mac or alongside the Mac. Now you have a couple options when it comes to this. There's free software, there's paid software, and today's video I'm going to be talking about Parallels 7 since I recently got this in a bundle for my Mac. If you are looking for a way to actually boot straight into Windows, then there's obviously software like Boot Camp that can be purchased and used in order to boot straight into Windows. What Parallels allows you to do is run it virtually alongside Mac OS X, which is a little bit nicer if you're using development or if you're just doing it for Windows-specific application purposes like Office, etc. So let's get right on. First up, you're going to need to download the software. So that's step one. Whatever software you're going to be using, again, in this case, we're using Parallels. You do have to purchase this. There's a 15-day free trial if you just want to try it out, see how it is. And then obviously you're going to want to go ahead and pick your operating system. In this case, I'm going to be using Windows 8 today, an ISO image of Windows 8. And this is the developer, developer release or release preview. You can be using any operating system, not just Windows. You can run a copy of Ubuntu or any Linux distro within the virtual machines, etc. So that's always nice to you have options and what operating systems you want to run. Alright, so here we have my Parallels window open here. I opened up Parallels Desktop. I chose ISO image. Let me just go back so I can show you. You can have a couple things. You can migrate windows. You can pick a certain thing if you want to download any of these. They have some options here, so you can download Windows 8, like I said earlier. So I'm going to double click this, and then I already chose my image here, the Windows 8 release preview 64-bit ISO, and that's your disk image file. I'm going to hit continue. And for here, you want to say this version requires a product key because it does not require a product key. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and go through Express installation. Now you can see how you want to set it up. You can set it up like a PC or like a Mac. So if you set it up like a Mac, Windows programs appear without the Windows desktop, just like a Mac would. Well, with a PC, you'll have the full Windows desktop. In that case, I do want the full Windows desktop. So I'm going to name it Windows 8, and you can share a folder with Mac if you want. In this case, I'm just going to have it have its own location settings. I'm going to hit continue. And then it's going to say the free space on your hard disk is smaller than the recommended for a virtual machine. You want to create it anyway, and you can customize the settings before installation. And I guess I'd go ahead and do that. So here we now have options if you want to configure your virtual machine in Windows 8. So you have a couple of options here, or Parallels I should say. You can have the boot order, the video, floppy disk, print, CD, hard disk. In this case, I made a HDD here with the image file here. And it's expanding disk, so what I can do here is I can change the location if I want to edit the disk info. For example, I have a 2 terabyte disk attached. I have a 2 terabyte disk attached to my hard drive, and my SSD is also connected. So I can change the partition here. I can choose where I want to put the hard disk, etc. And you can also expand the disk size later on or edit that. You can also change some other stuff here, controllers, sounds, and later on you'll have the option to change the disk size, etc. during setup. Alright, so again, if you want to configure anything, you click right there, and then you can click edit, and then also lower the disk size from here if needed. So I can just drag this down to maybe, let's say, I only want it to be around like 6 to I'll say 5 gigs for this case. I'll just say apply, let it do its thing, and the file system. Okay, so in this case it may not be because my SSD right now is actually full, but I'm gonna go ahead and continue with that because it did recognize the 5 gigs. Now it's going to go ahead and start installing Windows 8. So obviously you're going to go through the setup process. And with this, you're just going to have to let it wait and set through. And with that, I will just let it sit tight, and we will come back when it's done. Setup, in this case, the resolution is a little bit small. It's not set yet, so you have to kind of pay attention here, especially if your resolution is a little bit smaller than usual. So in this case, I'm going to say the operating system is the Windows 8 release preview. I'll hit next. And then it's going to start doing its thing, gathering the files, etc. So we'll let it do its thing. Alright, so once it all finishes, you will see that you can activate Windows and go into the PC settings. So I actually restarted my Parallels desktop and made it just a little bit more. I configured the startup disk, and I put it on an external hard drive. So you can install virtual machines to an external hard drive if your local drive is a little bit full, like my SSD is. So I'm going to say go to PC settings. And you can see here, you can activate Windows, you can, personalize your account, users, etc. So mine's already there. You can also sign up if you have a live account. You can sign up with a live account, but you do not have to. In this case, I just used I just made a regular account, skipped all of that. So this is Windows 8. You can customize it, and then with that, you can just turn off the virtual machine here if you want to turn it off, or you can suspend it, shut it down, etc. This is the PC settings, and let's see here. You can select, so you can activate Windows. If you have if you buy a key or anything like that, you can add it in. Personalize your desktop or anything like that if you want to do that. So let's go back to activate Windows here. And it says here that your product key should be on the box set Windows DVD. The product key on this PC didn't work. You might need to contact the company. So in this case, you might want to insert a product key if the Windows, let's see here, adjust the resolution here. Windows got one, if you got one from Windows in your email or anything of that sort. So if you downloaded Windows 8 and they gave you a product key for the developer preview, you can check in your inbox. So let's see here. Pause there. So actually, if you do not get a key emailed to you, though, there is an article here that I read that if you are installing Windows 8, the release preview, they give you a product key that you need to install here, and this is the actual product key from addictivetips.com. They actually give you this little guide here that each of them have different keys, but I think the only one that's currently working is the release preview product key. So if you do need that product key to activate Windows, like I said, alternatively in the beginning you can also bypass it by saying that there is no key, but if it does ask you for it to activate it, you can use this key right here from Addictive Tips, and I'll put this link in the blog post attached. Alright, so now that it's all done, you can obviously go back and, like I said, customize your Windows 8 experience from here. And with that, that is about it. That is, you have your Windows 8 Windows 8 all installed. You can now go into the actual Windows interface if you'd like. You can see there it says activate Windows, all done. So that is it, and then you can go back in, and yeah, so that's about it. You can also full screen with Parallel, so if you want to actually full screen the Windows experience, you can also do that. There's a whole bunch of things you can do from within Parallel settings. Again, this is just how to do it with Parallels, how to set up a virtual machine with Parallels. You can do this with Ubuntu, you can do this with any other Linux distro. I believe you can even do it with some OS 10, other OS 10, operating systems if you want to need to run an old version for developer access or running an application or anything of that sort. Again, you can run Windows 7, anything of that sort. This is how you run virtual machines within Mac OS X using Parallels Desktop 7. So check it out, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. All links, notes will be in the description within the blog post I write up for this full post over at digitaldojos.com. Don't forget to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe.